Good morning. So I'm coming to you inside my car because it's too cold out there for me, and inside everyone was awake. I didn't get this finished before everyone woke up. And so here I am. Let me see if I can move this where that sun is, where there's not a glare on my glasses. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I want to say that. Good lands. I don't know. Here, hang on. Maybe there. Maybe like that. There we go. We'll try that. That way you can see me and not just this big glare. So I want to start out by sharing this morning that this is something I've shared before, but I want to share it again. It's a reminder that for me, Emet, truth is my mission. And if you want to get mad at the facts. Look the facts up, be mad at the facts. Don't be mad at the messenger, okay? I just want to reiterate that. And we can still love each other, just a reminder. And I want to share the ethics of Anne with an E this morning. I posted a couple of weeks ago how much I loved that movie. And so I just thought, she's been on my heart. So I'm sharing the echoes of my heart. Anne with an E. And it comes from Anne of Green Gables. And what I love the most about her, and she's very inspiring for me, is that you see her print a newspaper article, and then she also has a monologue where she is telling truth. And she's saying truth that may make people mad. But I believe it was her teacher that said, it doesn't mean you're wrong. So keep those things in mind as we go through Anne with an E and explore her ethics, okay? One of the most gracious scenes and one of the most touching scenes for me comes at the end of the movie when she finally sees a picture of her mother who had passed away and given her to the orphanage. And it's just such a precious scene because she finally is given a picture of her mother, like I said, and she realizes that her mother has red hair just like she does. And for her lifetime up until that point, that was like a negative in Anne's life because others had convinced her it was a negative in her life. But at that moment, when she knew that her beautiful mother had red hair too, she had so much gratitude. And it's such a beautiful ethic to have. And as you go on through the movie, so like I said, that was at the end, and that kind of reveals the beginning at the end. But Anne with an E always had deep enthusiasm for life, even though difficult beginnings as an orphan. She, in the movie, dreams of normal life and is hopeful enough to stop at nothing to get it. That is a beautiful ethic, to never give up your dreams and your hope. She was always willing to overcome obstacles. And one of the very first moments in that was Matthew and Marilla wanted a boy to help with chores, but they got a very talkative girl. But she was willing to overcome those obstacles in order to stay and have the life she dreamt of. She had this childlike purity that I adore. And her devotion to others, in spite of cruelty she had experienced, was very inspiring. And I think we can learn a lot from her. She valued simple things. And I tend to do that. a lot of simplicity. I try to value even those simple things. She valued family, friendship, education, love, nature. And if you look at the definition of value, it is one's judgment of what is important in life. So what did Anne with an E think was important in life? Family, friendship, education, love, and nature. She trusted people in her life who didn't dismiss her when she was feeling pain. And we need to value those people in our lives. I have one in particular, but we need to really value those people in our lives, that we can trust them and they don't just dismiss you even though you're going through a difficult time and you're in pain. And we need to try to value others enough to be there for them in those times as well, and not just dismiss them. Anne with an E helps us realize that traumatic events are not a reason to let ourselves abandon life. That one got me, even as I was writing it down this morning as I was going through. And it's like this truth clicked with me. And I was like, yes, she does. She helps us realize that traumatic events are not a reason to let ourselves just abandon life. Let's follow her example and have hope in life, even when difficulties persist. She was a kind friend to those who had lifestyles that didn't agree with hers, yet she never compromised her ways. And that's so important, and I've always tried to live my life like that, and I still try to live my life like that. Anne experiences a painful part of our history, a period with indigenous children that were sent to residential government schools to deny essentially who they were. Anne loved who they were and always tried to help them when they presented her with difficult situations they were experiencing. Anne is all about education. This during a time when it was frowned upon for a woman after a basic reading, writing, and arithmetic education. She stood tall for her convictions in any context. She learned that when you stand for what is just and fair, keep going. When you're standing for your morals and your values, keep going. Even when others are telling you you're wrong. She lives thankfully for the most wonderful things in life. May we do the same. Love y'all and have a happy Thanksgiving. Mwah.